Daniel was the most powerful man in Persia who wasn't the king. He had served under 3 different empires. Babylon fell, Daniel survived. New kings rose, Daniel rose higher. He was smarter, sharper, and more trustworthy than every official in the kingdom, and they hated him for it. King Darius had just conquered Babylon and reorganized the entire empire. He appointed 120 governors to run the provinces. Above them, he placed 3 administrators. Daniel was one of the 3. But Daniel was so exceptional that the king planned to set him over the entire kingdom, one man above everyone. The other officials couldn't stand it. A foreigner, a Hebrew, a captive from a conquered nation, and the king trusted him more than all of them combined. So they started digging, looking for any scandal, any corruption, any mistake. They found nothing, not a single flaw, no bribe, no lie, no shortcut. Daniel was clean, completely, and that made them angrier. One of them finally said what they were all thinking: "We will never find anything against this man unless it involves the law of his God." They knew Daniel's weakness. It wasn't money, it wasn't power, it was prayer. 3 times a day, Daniel knelt by his window facing Jerusalem and prayed, every morning, every afternoon, every evening, for decades. It was as natural to him as breathing, and they were going to use it to kill him. They went to King Darius with a proposal, dressed it up as an honor. "O king, we believe you should issue a decree. For 30 days, no one in the kingdom may pray to any god or man except you. Anyone who disobeys will be thrown into the den of lions. Sign it into law, a law of the Medes and Persians that cannot be changed." Darius didn't see the trap. It sounded like loyalty. It sounded like respect. He signed it. The moment the decree was official, they went to Daniel's house. They didn't even have to wait long. Daniel heard about the new law. He went home. He opened his window toward Jerusalem, and he knelt down and prayed, exactly like he always did. He didn't hide. He didn't close the curtains. He didn't whisper. They watched from the street, smiling. They had him. They went straight to the king. "Did you not sign a decree that anyone who prays to any god except you shall be thrown to the lions?" Darius nodded. "The law stands. It cannot be changed." Daniel, the Hebrew captive, pays no attention to your decree. He prays to his God 3 times a day. The Bible says when the king heard this, he was deeply distressed. Not angry at Daniel, distressed. He realized what had happened. He had been played. His own law was a weapon aimed at the one man he trusted most. Darius spent the rest of the day trying to find a way out. He called lawyers. He searched for loopholes. He was the most powerful man on earth, and he couldn't save his own friend. The law of the Medes and Persians cannot be repealed, not even by the king who signed it. At sunset, the advisors returned. "Remember, O king, no law you sign can be changed." They weren't reminding him. They were cornering him. Darius gave the order. The words came out of his mouth like poison. "Bring Daniel. Bring him to the lions." They came for Daniel at sunset. Daniel didn't resist. He walked with the same calm he had when he prayed by that window. The den was a pit carved deep into rock, a hole in the ground sealed with a stone. Inside, lions, the bones of previous victims scattered across the floor. No one had ever gone in and come out alive. That was the point. Darius stood at the edge. He couldn't look at Daniel, but he forced himself to speak. "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." A king begging a prisoner's God to do what the king himself could not. They lowered Daniel into the darkness. The lions stirred below. The stone was rolled over the opening. Darius pressed his royal seal into the wax. No one could open it, not even him. Daniel hit the floor of the pit, and in the darkness, breathing, heavy, close, multiple lions. Their eyes caught the faint light, yellow, fixed on him. Any other man would have screamed, would have pressed against the wall, would have begged. Daniel sat down, crossed his legs, closed his eyes, and prayed. Something shifted in that pit. The lions that had torn apart every person thrown to them stopped pacing. One by one, they lay down. A massive male lion walked toward Daniel, close enough to feel its breath. It lay down beside him like a dog beside its master. The others followed. They circled him, not to attack, to rest. A warm golden light filled the pit, faint, impossible, coming from nowhere and everywhere. Daniel sat in the center of it, eyes closed, at peace, surrounded by killers who had become his blanket for the night. Back in the palace, Darius was falling apart. He refused food. He refused entertainment. He refused sleep. He paced his room all night. Every minute felt like an hour. The most powerful man in the world, helpless, waiting for dawn, hoping for something impossible. The second the sky showed the first crack of light, Darius ran. The king of Persia, crown crooked, robes untied, sprinting through his own palace, past confused guards, down the stone steps to the den. He reached the pit. His hands were shaking. He called out. His voice echoed into the darkness below. "Daniel, servant of the living God, was your God able to save you from the lions?" Daniel answered, "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent in his sight." Darius nearly collapsed. He ordered Daniel pulled out immediately. They lifted him from the pit. Not a scratch, not a bite, not a bruise. Not even his clothes were torn. The lions had slept beside him like lambs. Then the king gave a second order. "Bring the men who accused Daniel. Bring their wives. Bring their children. Throw them in." The lions didn't wait for them to reach the floor. Darius issued a new decree to the entire empire. "In every part of my kingdom, people must fear and respect the God of Daniel. He is the living God. He rescues and he saves. He performs signs and wonders in heaven and on earth. He has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions." Daniel walked out of that pit the same way he walked in.